Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to a happy Newcastle United victory celebration. Tonight we're joined by Jamie from the Mag and my old pal Amrit. How are you doing,
Evening.
lads? What did you think?
Well,
Great. I mean, it was tough going at the second half at times, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
But I think we've just got to take the win and take the positives, haven't we, from that today?
That's the crack. What about you, Amrit?
agreed. Yeah, it was quite difficult at times, but overall, we've got to take that result. Got to take that result.
Yeah, so far we've got 7 points from 9 without playing anywhere near our best.
Yeah.
And for me, being flag bearer for the Happy Clapper Brigade, I'll take that all day long. There was one or two good performances, one or two ropey performances. But overall, I think the result is, at the end of the day, it's the result that counts.
It's a good
Sounds like you lost your voice.
I've been shouting.
Some shouting today, hasn't it? It's been a good phase one, I think. I think if you just looked at the start of the season, you'd have taken 7 points in progress in the cup by this stage, wouldn't you? We've got a nice cup draw in the next round. I think it's important. I was just looking, actually, there's only 3 league games, I think 4 league games between this international break and the next one. I think it'd be good if we can hit a bit of form. There's all the distractions are gone, Gordon's head should be on right. The people who are worrying about being replaced can put it out of their mind. We'll maybe have people back like Shea, Wilson, maybe Willock.
Well, Shea's back, of course.
Be good if
where's he going to play? Where is Shea going to play? Because one of the positives to come out of all of this is Emil Kraft.
Yeah.
He's had 2 really, really good performances.
Yeah.
And, that's a bit of a dilemma. Because you know what Eddie's like. If somebody goes in and does the business, quite rightly, they're staying.
Yeah.
So it's a nice dilemma to have.
We've got the 3 games in a week as well when we come back. So it's a bit of a week on the road, isn't it? We've got Wolverhampton, then Wimbledon, and then Fulham. So there'll obviously be a bit of rotation there, chance for everybody to get a game. Wolves have made a really poor start. So I'd hope we can get off the mark there and dictate the game a little bit. What team he picks, you just don't know. It's good that we've got the variety, we've got the players, but you'll pick a team hopefully to win that game and then another team to beat Wimbledon, and we won't have the problems of last year.
Yeah, well, I thought the selection today was weird. I was over the moon with them starting Barnes and Gordon both up front. And then he puts Longstaff in instead of Tonali after Tonali's, won that show on Wednesday night, which I thought was strange. But that's typical of Eddie, and the bottom line is we got the result. I'm just going to say hello to some of the folks in the chat tonight. Roy, hello, Roy. Niall boy, top of the league, top of the prediction league. 2-1, and you got it. Mighty Mag, Ronnie, Jody Toon for life. Didn't enjoy the performance, but at this time the result was more important. Absolutely.
Yep.
Stephen, we've been poor all season. However, the points on the board and the fact we're still bottling at the end is a good sign. Yeah, indeed. Josh Toon, Army Philly, out there. Last playing too deep, but got the fight. And the Dark Arts are back. Good sign.
Aye.
Yeah. Played a little bit about GS7 and Gordon and Isaac. Need to up their performances. as for Pope, well, Pope was a bit up and down, wasn't he?
I don't know what he was doing for the goal.
So he did that. He did that before, didn't he? He did that before. He parried the ball where he should have caught it. The commentator then said, I forget who it was, then said, maybe he should be catching that. And lo and behold, he did the same thing for the goal, you know?
Yeah. So, where do you lay the blame for the goal?
I think I don't think Dan Burn needed to do that, did he?
Well, there was a player coming in behind him, though, wasn't there? He was in a bit of a sticky situation. He didn't know what to expect coming in from behind him,
and the pace at which the ball
was
went
going out
when it bounced off Pope.
I don't think it's Dan Burn's fault. I think it's Nick Pope as a keeper. He should be either parrying it out of the way of an attacker or catching it. And unfortunately, he didn't catch it, did he?
He didn't either.
And then I noticed the next few shots that they had, he was making a conscious effort to keep a hold of the ball. It was a little bit too late because we'd already been put under significant pressure after their goal.
Yeah. Where do you stand with? We'll come on to all the players eventually, but where do you stand with Isak?
Isak's not getting the service as he should be, unfortunately. He's getting into the right positions. He's just not getting the ball. I saw it, during a free kick. Isak then he said, "Please play the ball here," and he saw him pointing towards where he wanted it, and then Lewis Hall played the ball out
Well, I'm on about the first half. In the first half, it was Bruno. In fact, Bruno played the ball out to the left wing to Barnes, and it fell. The move fell down, and Isak was bollocking Bruno, saying, "Why did you give it to him? Why did you not give it to me?"
Yeah, I think he's lacking that.
But I was actually watching Barnes at the time, so I was wanting him to give the ball to Barnes, so I didn't see where Isak actually was.
So
can you remember that incident I'm on about, Jamie?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have been Red Bulled up by that point. I do think he seems to be struggling to get into the games full stop since the start of the season. But maybe the goal will do him the world of good. Two things: him getting off the mark, and I think Anthony Gordon just looked a little bit more like himself, especially when he went over at the left towards the end of the game. And obviously, with the transfer window closing, if there was any distraction with the whole Liverpool thing, it's out of his head now, and he can get on with the job. And I think if he's firing, Isak's off the mark, get a goal at Wolves, and we'll be back in business, But he hasn't been himself this season so far. But he scored the winner today. I'd seen a comparison with Andy Cole. Did bugger all and popped up and scored the winner.
Oh, lovely comparison to make. Lovely comparison to make.
Yeah.
I'm just getting pelters off Chris there, hit the main layout, which I've just done, so we're all nice and big now.
All right.
Still waiting for Jim.
I should have think what the internet would have made of that one.
Joe boys agree with the fact we don't have good ball players from the back, i.e. Shea and Botman. It's holding us back in the way we want to play. I think that what's holding us back right now is the inability of the midfield to pass 10 yards to one another.
Yeah.
I agree. The number of times we lost the ball today. Bruno 3 times again doing his 180s and getting dispossessed. Twice Isak was going back to kind of join in and play. We're just giving the ball away time and again. It's driving me potty.
Yeah.
Bruno's not been his usual self. He's definitely, something's not quite right with what he's doing at the minute. He, for me, was in large parts of the game out of the game, and then he did the same thing that he did last game, where he brought all the players into the box. We had a free kick at about halfway line, and he played the ball sideways, and we ended up playing it back to the keeper, and that means all the players that got into the box have to run all the way back again. And I was thinking, why didn't you just launch it into the box?
2 free kicks were took, and instead of easy ball into the box.
Yeah. And it was a sideways movement, fannying on, yeah.
Going back, doesn't it? Keeps ending up with Nick Pope, and you know his kicking's not the most reliable.
Well, no. I think that's an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're coming out from the back. I think Lloyd Kelly's a good footballing defender. I mean,
greetings.
Greetings.
Lloyd. But I think, it's not the defence's job to keep possession and start play, even though we do have this playing out from the back. I think there's too much possession getting lost, too many balls being wasted in the middle there. Hopefully Tonali's got a bit of an answer for that, to be back more consistently. Looked quite slick.
Where do you stand with GTFLS? And you don't know the effects that Tonali suffered.
Yeah.
After the Forest game, so it's wise to be careful with his minutes.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think I've always been of the persuasion, start your best 11. You know, and then if it means you only last, 45 minutes, take them off then. But start with your best. Roy, what did you think, mate?
Well, with the lineup, with the whole game.
Well, everything, whatever, just...
I was disappointed with Hall being dropped, but then I thought Kelly was okay. So I think when we play stronger teams, Kelly do a better job. If we play in Wolves or Ipswich and those the lesser teams, then Hall can do it. But yeah, he's a better defender. So I would go with Kelly against the stronger teams. And he did an assist today, so all those things
excellent
about
assist,
yeah. So yeah, I was the whole lineup I think was perfect except for having Longstaff. So that's me anyway. But I think the next one after the internationals, and Tonali's gone to Italy, so he'll be training with them. So and then Eddie can work with the players who haven't or not going anyway. So I think it's going to go either way. I think I'm hoping we'll see a completely different team after the international.
That's something I don't know, by the way. Does anybody know? Has Tonali been selected for Italy?
Yeah. So we've got 3 and major, England's first team. Then we've got Hall, who's in England under 21, and I think Isak's with Sweden, and Tonali's with Italy,
Kraft Sweden as well,
and Kraft as well. Yeah. So Eddie can work with the rest of them. I'm surprised Longstaff wasn't picked for England, but there you go.
And Shear's retired, yeah. But as Trippier retires, Livramento comes into the England squad, and as Shear retires, Tonali's back in the Italy squad. So we'll be watching that with a bit of nervousness, especially for Nations League games that really no one gives a toss about. England playing in the second tier of the Nation League, and that means I'm more likely to get a bit of game time. I wouldn't be surprised if Pope starts a game and goal over the next couple of weeks.
And then I'm hoping he gets one of them, but I still think Pickford's better goalkeeper.
Yeah. Although again, Pickford didn't cover himself in glory, did he?
Oh no! Oh, yesterday was funny as hell.
Top of the league there, saying Eddie got it wrong again. Tonali and Hall should have started. Reactionary subs again by Eddie. Wait till he equalise before making subs, and he brings on Murphy before Tonali. Absolutely bonkers.
But it worked. We won the game.
Exactly.
And the alternate universe, that's the team we maybe don't win the game.
Yeah, I was worried that Longstaff might get sent off because he did few stupid fouls afterwards, and He's on a yellow card.
Well, I was worried J7 might get sent off.
Yeah, and J7, even Bruno as well.
Yeah,
but
they all seemed like they were losing their mind a bit at one point, especially J7.
Yeah.
But as for the Murphy introduction, a stroke of genius on Eddie's half because, well, he got into space and he
and I'll tell you what, Barnes would not have got onto that ball because Barnes was given a very similar ball in the first half, and he didn't have the pace to beat the defender, whereas Murphy did have the pace, and by the way, got everything right thereafter.
Yeah, absolutely.
he wasn't doing brilliantly up to that point, but by God, that was one fantastic run.
I don't think you can understate as well the awareness when you're running full pelt like that with two defenders on your back, the awareness to be able to just slip it in and know where it was.
Wonderful.
Fantastic bit of skill, I hope.
Well, this said before about Dubravka. If you notice, Pope can save shots no problem to his right, but to his left, he parries a lot of shots. That tells me he's not 100% confident with his shoulder yet. That's one way of looking at it.
There's few of them. Yeah,
that criticism is often levied at Dubravka, that he can save to his left but not low down to his right. Interesting.
I think for the goal, what's happened with the Madison shot, Nick Pope, he's been unsighted. Whenever a goalie does something like that, he's seen the ball coming late. So, I mean, I haven't seen any interviews or anything corroborating that, but the way he reacted to it, I think he's just seen that at the last minute because it was a speculative shot from Madison. It's, I mean, I don't know about that fact about diving it was left. If was it definitely even the left shoulder? I think it was, wasn't it? But I don't know if it's happened on regular occasions. No. Have to get someone who's more into the stats to have a look at that.
It was coming. Midfield is a bit off, but I think Shea coming back will help just push the whole line up a bit. Perhaps it's serviceable defensively, but offensively holds us back breaking out. I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
One way you were going to say?
Defender.
I forgot. The first 11, 12 minutes of the second half, the goal was coming, which is bombarding us. We had one chance when Isaac should have passed it and he didn't. And
we yet again, by the way, had a brilliant first. I'm saying 15 minutes. It seems to finish at 12 minutes. But for the opening 12 minutes, we were all over them.
I'll tell you what, do you know the Isaac effort you've just mentioned there, Roy? I watched the highlights just then. That's a penalty. I thought the guy made a brilliant tackle out of the game. But if you look at back, he's taken out Isaac's standing leg before he's got the ball. I think it would have been a soft one to give on the pitch, but if the VAR had a look at that, I think they'd have said it's a penalty. He stopped Isaac from playing the ball.
Oh, well, there you go.
But anyway, thank God we won.
I saw the replay and I didn't kind of think that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. I was more angry about the not passing, so I didn't pay attention. Yeah.
No, not past that.
I thought the referee was spot on though most of the game, like 95%.
Yeah, I don't think any of the players have been their usual selves yet, to be honest. The closest I've seen is Joy Linton against Southampton, which was a performance. I don't think we'll argue with that.
Well, that's a good thing, though, isn't it? It's a really good thing.
Because it's still to come.
And we've got 7 out of 9 points. Some difficult games in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Isak as well.
This Jam Stash has hit the nail on the head here. In general, we are just giving the ball away too cheaply. That's happened in all 3 games.
Or
I
4
don't think
games.
anybody will argue with that.
Yeah, especially Bruno. And
Yeah, with his
Bruno does it every game now.
180s.
Yeah, and Gordon's one was the worst one in the second half, and he lost it. That was almost a goal. That
And he went down trying to get the foul, which is what Bruno does as well, which means you then can't recover.
Yeah.
If you stay down appealing for the foul, you can't. There's no recovery run to try and get the ball back.
Yeah, because I think that ball was saved by Kraft, because that running in the wing squared it, and then the striker took a shot and Kraft blocked it or something.
Clouds rating what I think it was. Mighty Mike said earlier on, we are missing Sharon Botman. Kraft and Byrne are good defenders, but they are not elite passers of the ball.
Yep. Both of them. And Pope.
Just on Bruno, I don't want to give any details away from my excellent match report that will be dropping very soon. But I've heard a bit of a rumour that at the start of the match, when the referee's doing the toss, he says to Bruno, heads or tails. And Bruno keeps saying, I think it'll land on its side. Because he just cannot win a toss, can he? We've kicked the wrong way against Southampton, the wrong way against...
Yeah.
And he lost 2 for the shootout at Forest. He lost the toss for where the kicks would be taken, and he lost the toss for...
who goes first?
So, and obviously, joking there, but we've all agreed that he's been a bit off it. Is it a possibility the captaincy's weighing a bit heavy on him? You sometimes see that. You see a lot of cricket.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're going to come on to this later on, Stephen, but it'd be interesting to know what Yasser had to say to Darren Eales. Hopefully questions have been asked. We'll come on to that one where they will wind up a roundup of the...
I think the win kind of...
That's it, exactly.
But he was watching anyway. I'm sure he wasn't happy with the football, but he'll be happy with the score.
Yeah.
It's shutting the stable too after the horses bolted though, isn't it? Really, it's come after the transfer window's closing when there's rat all he can do about it for 3 months.
Well, let's get on to the scores then. We might as well.
Aye.
Everybody in the chat, get yours in. Nick Pope. Who wants to go first?
I'll go for Nick Pope. I think the big save was the one from Maddison. But there was quite a lot of speculative Spurs efforts that he kept out. And I think, not dwelling on the goal, I think it was a solid 7.
So,
without Nick Pope in goal, with any other keeper would have lost that game today.
Wow. Amrit?
Well, I get what Jamie's saying there. I really do. Some good shot stops, especially in the second half where there was somebody coming. I forget who it was who hit the ball really well, and Nick Pope had to really stretch. And he's a tall guy and with long arms, And he got to the ball and then he tipped one over the bar. A solid performance. He did make some pretty bad errors though. I think I'd go for a 6. Actually, you know what? I'm being harsh. I think I'll go for a 7 because of the shot stopping that he did in the second half, but not the best performance in certain aspects.
7 again, Roy?
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I would have given him a 9, but his distribution is useless. He can't kick a ball. I think he needs to be training on kicking the ball and passing more than diving and stuff. But,
well, this is like the conversations we have about Miggy, and you would think in training he'd be learning to do something with his right foot.
Maybe both of them should go and do one-on-ones.
And the same applies to Pope. Because surely you can learn to, just repetition and practice getting the ball hit back at you at speed and clearing it. And trying to hit a target somewhere on the pitch.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't seem to improve at all.
Yeah, it's good though. He
You're a
saved.
7. I'm going to be a bit harsher. I'm
Yeah.
going to give him a 6. For the
It's between 7 and 6. The goal
couple of
wasn't
good
his fault as
saves,
well.
but let's be honest. That's what he's there for. He's there to make saves. And on more than one occasion, he was parrying it, and when
That's
to
right.
me he could have caught it. And like I said, distribution is getting worse. So it's 6 for me. 7, great game, but he's kicking, says here. 6, Pope can't catch a ball, says Davey. And AG's saying definitely Neil, but if Pope gets injured, we're up what creek.
Yeah, we've got Dubravka, so
And
I trust
he's
Dubravka.
coming in right in the middle, but we don't give hope, so he can't have 6.5.
Mm.
But we'll round up on a 7 anyway.
Aye, 7 is good.
So Tino Livramento, newly capped, well, not newly capped yet, newly selected England right back to replace the ousted or the retiring Kieran Trippier. Roy, you go first on this.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him a 10 for the first half and 6 in the second. He died off, but he's getting better every game. He was one of the bright players today.
Yeah.
Again, just like the rest of them, is the second half. I don't know what happened in the second half, and it could be instructions or something. But yeah, I'll give him an 8. He probably the best. Yeah, one of the best at the back four.
Amrit?
I'm going to give him a 7. He did everything right. Didn't really do much. Well, like Roy said, he did drop off a bit in the second half, but he played really well. 7 for me.
And Jamie?
I'm probably more inclined to agree with Roy. I think potentially one of the standouts in the first half and faded a little bit. So I'm going to go with an 8 for Tino.
And I'm going to go with an 8 as well. I thought there was 2 occasions that come immediately to mind when he was played into a bad position by Kraft. Kraft had done his defensive job, and rather than just hoof it, he passed it to Tino.
Yeah.
And it was kind of 2 of them, they were like 50-50 balls that turned out to be. And the way he turned his opponent, and then not just turned them, but then got away with the ball at pace, up that wing, beat another man. Just absolutely superb. Drink water, win. Thank you. Oh, that's great. And we've got, here we go, we've got a new member. Welcome, James. Thank you for joining our wonderful community. So, yeah, so we've got, well, we'll service on an 8 there, I think. And Kraft.
I'll jump in on Kraft because I've said it already once. I'm putting Emil Kraft as man of the match. I think it was a rear-guard action. And the main thing today was sensible, straightforward defence. Standing up in that line to stop Spurs getting through. All Tottenham's efforts were from miles away. And that's what he does. Sensible, solid defence. I'm torn between an 8 and a 9. I'm going to go 8 because I'm not sure there was any 9 out of 10s in that performance, but a very good 8.
Yeah. Amrit?
I'm going to agree. I think Kraft's very intelligent footballer, and he did everything right. I can't remember shouting at him at all, so I'm going to give him an 8. Not man of the match for me, but I'm going to give him an 8.
Well, we've got a couple of names coming in the chat. Davey and Elias Tobias, both going for 9s. Roy?
Exactly what Jamie said as well. My man of the match, an 8. Few
Man of
mistakes,
the
but
match with an 8.
yeah, he's for me, he's the man of big occasions. Him, because he played like 100. He played like he's been a centre back for 100 years, and you wouldn't think that this lad was a right back. So yeah, I'll give him an 8. And he's 8, and you could say 8.1.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to get a 9.
8 man of the match will do it for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to give man of the match. Am I? I think I probably am, actually. I think I probably am. Because, as you've all said, he did what you want the centre half to do. He defended, and he didn't just defend men for me. He was defending space as well.
Yeah,
he was stopping, as Amrit was saying, so intelligent. He was stopping so many balls being played. The reason he didn't have many tackles to make was because his positioning just meant that whoever had the ball decided, pointless going there, and kind of went to the other side. So, yeah, excellent performance from Mr. Kraft, and 3 man of the match awards. And just quickly, Lewis is in there, member for 6 months. It's happened again. Not quite 6-1 or 4-1 or 5-1, but 2-1. Cheers,
3
Lewis.
points is what matters.
We'll go Kraft.
Here's a question, right? Just
Yep.
side-tracking a bit. Newcastle against Tottenham. In the Premier League year, we've beaten 1-0, we've beaten 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you reckon that's a bit of a record? Do you reckon anyone else has beaten another Premier League team?
Yeah.
But with scoring from 1 to 7?
No, I don't think. I think it would be highly unlikely.
And I think there's loads of 4s.
You've obviously got to think of the 6s and 7s, or the 5, 6, and 7. I think
there's loads of 4s.
Man City might have done it to somebody, because they've scored boatloads again.
They've probably done it to everyone, then.
But it's very interesting. Nice take. We'll have to look into that.
Definitely.
We'll have to, start getting them. Well, we remember the 7. 6 was last year before last.
7 Spurs.
There's loads of 4s.
Yeah, loads of 4s. And 3s, 2s, and 1s. It's getting them all lined up in a row. That's the the hard bit. Nice one, Jamie. Nice one. 7, but not amazing. Imagine if you could pass like Cher. Indeed. After the day. No, what we're coming on to that, Brian. Don't worry. Oh my God, Chris has been a member for a month. Is that all?
Why has he got a spanner next to him?
Admin.
Because he's a mod. He's a moderator. Plus, he's a spanner.
He's a twat. That's what he is.
Kraft, very dependable, gets his head down to the simple things well. Very rarely has an absolute shocker, but will never do much out of the ordinary. Yeah, well, you've got to have players like that in the side.
That's right.
Yeah, discipline.
The unsung heroes, as they say. Pedro never lets us down.
Yeah. You remember when Trippier got injured when we finished that survival season?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he played most of the second half of the season, right back.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And I think with his injury last year, I think people kind of forgot how good he was in that period you mentioned there.
That's right.
Was absolutely
by the way, that same season was when Target was playing at left back. The back end of that season, Target had a great season as well. Well, half season.
It was Shaw, Target, Burn, Kraft most of the second half. Yeah. And then when Trippier had the 5 or 6 games and then got injured.
Yeah. So we move on to Big Dan Burn.
I'll go in here. I thought Big Dan Burn was man of the match for me. And I know this is a bit controversial because people blame him for the own goal and what have you. But he put in some last-ditch challenges. He was one-on-one with who's their right winger for Tottenham, and he got there. Yeah, he got not Udogie. It was someone else, but
Johnson.
It might have been Johnson. Yeah, he got back. Yeah, he got back.
He did. He did a few of them. Yeah,
he came in. He put his. I remember thinking, and I think he's had a solid few games actually. If I'm honest with you, I think he was standout for me today. I was hoping he was going to get man of the match, but I think the own goal took it away.
Yeah,
but he is my man of the match.
There's been quite a bit of debate, shall we say, mainly between me and everybody else, I've got to say, in the forum. Everybody's saying, what game was I watching? When I thought I was tossing up between him and Kraft for man of the match.
Yeah.
And just out of interest, Burn made 7 clearances, 2 blocked shots, 2 interceptions, 1 error, and I fully agree that was a shocking pass that he made that led to their shot on goal, which incidentally Kraft did brilliantly to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sort of diminish.
Clearly, yeah.
17 out of 21 accurate passes, 1 out of 2 long balls, 2 out of 3 ground duels, 2 out of 3 aerial duels. So if that is a crappy performance, let's have more of them, I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I would have had him somewhere near man of the match, except for that one bad pass, which just about every player on the team was guilty of one of them today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the own goal, but I still don't really blame him for the own goal. The speed at which it arrived at him, but maybe I'm being too kind there.
But the thing is, the ball was going wide, granted, when you look at it again. However, how did he not know that there was someone coming from behind him? He had to try and do something, and all he did was try and clear it over the bar. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But I think he made up for those 2 mistakes hugely throughout the rest of his performance. So it's an 8 from me.
You're right. Roy?
Yeah, I'll give him 7. Solid. I don't know if people were watching. I think it was almost a perfect game. And unfortunately for him, the 2 mistakes, I don't think the speed of that ball, we watch it in sort of slow motion and stuff, but when you're on the pitch and you're running towards your goal and the ball's coming sideways, that is really hard to turn and do something. But solid 7. He's solid, man. Don't play him on the left again. Just keep him where he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solid 7. There's some news coming there and all, I think.
Yeah. Until bottom.
Jimmy, Dan?
Yeah, I'm with Amrit. I think a very solid performance. With Kieran Trippier's sort of dropped out this team, and Dan Burns, your organiser, at the back now. And that's a very important role in any defence. And as I say, it was a strong rear guard action. He loses out to Kraft for man of the match for me because there was those couple of errors. But another great performance. I think somebody said before, I think in one of the comments, there hasn't really been anybody who's performed consistently well all season. I would say Dan Burns probably the closest.
Most consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Well, like they're kind of agreeing when the chat are all 876, 876. Oh my goodness
Not
me.
6. Can't know. He's not 6. Got a 7+.
5 gifted memberships. Who have they gone to? Let me have a quick look. Talk amongst yourselves.
Wait till I get to
I'll come
the
back to that
university.
anyway. We'll go on to Sean Longstaff.
I know we've got Kelly.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Beg your pardon. Yeah. Go on then, Roy. You can start.
I'll give him a 7, but it's a low 7 compared to Dan Burns' high 7. Just for the assist, solid anyway. And that diminishes or that cancels that rumor that he can't go forward. He can go forward. He just doesn't look as fancy as Lewis Hall, but he's more solid. So I'd rather play him against stronger teams than Lewis Hall at the back. But when you play weaker teams, then I'll go with Hall because we don't need to handle pressure. Yeah, so I'll give him a 7. It was a good buy. So that's probably one of the positives from that transfer window, having him.
So anyway, the memberships, boys and girls, have gone to Cadetti, Guna Greg, Belly 81, Ertzingham, and Philly 2109. So,
Right.
your thanks go to Chris at NUFC Talk TV. And thank you, Christopher. So, sorry, while I was doing that, Roy, I missed you. A 7.
A 7, yeah. 7.
On the a lower side, 7. And
lower than Dan Burns, 7.
And Jamie?
Yeah, 7. I thought he was up there as one of the best in the first half, I thought. And skinning James Maddison, when we were up against it, Tottenham had the better of the play. He went bombing forward, skinned James Maddison, put a great ball across. Wallop were in the lead. I thought it was a really solid showing. Played his part in a good defensive effort. But then he went off, so I think you've got to max him out as a 7 for an hour-long stint or whatever it was.
And Amrit?
Total agreement. I'm a 7. He threw in some good challenges as well as the assist. I think there's more to come from Lloyd Kelly. I think Eddie's going to be working with him considerably, and I think he's going to get better and better. So yeah, as Roy said, quality signing. 7 for me.
And I'm going to go, because I'm a happy clapper, I'm going to go with an 8, because I thought it was a definite 7 performance, and I'm giving him an extra 1 for the assist, which, despite what people say, is not a fullback's job. A fullback's job is to defend, unless the game plan, your whole team game plan, is built around wing backs. And ours isn't. Ours is built on 2 wingers and high press. So the primary job of the fullbacks, for me, is to defend. Anything you get on top of that is a bonus, which is why he's getting a bonus 1. So now we come on to Sean. Roy, your mate.
My mate
your best pal.
My best pal gets a 5. Now going forward, but it's a bit more tidy than he used to be last season. I'll say that. But stupid fouls, stupid yellow card, and then there was one ball he did, and he just chased the lad. He could have just had one more step and then went for the tackle. Just went really late and tackled him. Couldn't got sent off as well, but he was lucky to stay on. And just lucky. I think beside of his low, quality, sometimes he loses it in his head as well. But at least he's fighting. He's doing that. He wasn't doing that last year. There's been like sometimes 3-4 games that you don't see him going down for one tackle. He's doing that now. Sometimes he's doing it too much, but yeah, I'll give him 5. It's better than the I used to get last year, 2s and 3s. And 5 from me. He's not the worst one though.
He's not the worst one. Ooh,
he's not the worst
watch
one.
it go.
Yeah.
Amrit, Sean, you?
I mean, yeah, they made a few errors in my, and I think I was in the end quite relieved to see him come off the pitch for Tonali. Yeah, I mean, I might be a bit overcritical here, but I just feel like he's a little bit out of his depth in our team at the minute. But there were slight positives. There were some good passes and some good tackles, but overall, I think I'll have to stay with 5 with that as well.
Hard. Jimmy?
Difficult to score Sean Longstaff because a lot of the things that he does well are unspectacular. I think he was dropping in a lot in the direction of Son. And Son did absolutely solid bugger all game. So does that get him points? I'm actually going to say out of the 3 midfielders, I think Sean Longstaff had probably the most solid first half at least. And, you know, just sitting in as a kind of extra defender. But nothing spectacular. Did his bit in the stray passes as well. So I'm going to give him a 6. But it's an unspectacular 6.
And I'm going to give him a 6 and all. And the reason I'm giving him a 6 is because even though he did virtually nothing constructively, there was one good ball he put through. But at least he started making challenges and tackles. And the figures kind of back it up. 3 out of 5 tackles won. 1 block, 1 clearance, 3 interceptions, 12 defensive actions, 3 recoveries, 8 duels won, 3 duels lost. But the key bit, which is where his game is lacking and where Tonali is so much of an upgrade, is his passing accuracy. Because even though he was by no means alone today in losing possession, some of those 20 of 26 passes that are classed as accurate when you look at stats. Yes, the next touch was by a Newcastle player, but 3 times that I can count, he passed to Bruno with an inaccurate, even though it got to Bruno, it was inaccurate because it was the wrong side of him and it was too pacey.
Yeah.
And then Bruno ends up, fannying around, trying desperately to retain possession.
Is that like the passing equivalent of a shot going in off your arse? That you don't knock
Kind of.
Yeah, something like
Exactly.
that, yeah.
But I'm going to give him a 6 anyway. So then we'll get on to Bruno.
I'll jump in on Bruno and then I'll go last on the next one because I'm going to go and record match of the day briefly. I'm going to give Bruno 5. I think he lost possession a lot today. I'm still mad with him about kicking up the hill in the second half. But I think I can't remember any moment where Bruno made a standout contribution in terms of, I kept saying to me mates at the game, they're still playing a bit of a high line. Isaac's going to get a goal running in behind if someone can pick him out. And it kind of happened. But Bruno's the man you're looking for those passes, and he just seems to want an extra second on the ball, extra touch of the ball all the time, and then tries to buy a foul. I think he wasn't himself. 5.
Mm-hmm. Right.
4.
Oh, wow.
It's the same as what Jamie said, but he's done nothing. And then if it wasn't cheering the fans and stuff, I would have given him even less. It was just keeps the ball too much. He puts us in danger all the time now, and it's happening almost every game. And he just needs to release it. Eddie needs to speak to him and say, "Look, mate, just release that ball." And he's done one when he was just on the side outside our box. And he's done one in the second half, just behind halfway line, and they broke and it went for a counter. And he's doing it every game. And Joelinton does it as well, but Bruno is the worst one with that. Beside of that, he's done nothing in the game as well. No shots. I haven't seen any, what you can call it, positive passing forward to the lads up front. He was doing the dirty work and stuff, but I thought even Longstaff was better than him today. So 4 for our captain.
Yeah. Amrit?
One of his worst games in 2 years, probably.
Yeah, Bruno, it's just something not quite right with him at the minute. He's not finding those balls. I was watching the first half, and Madison was pinging the ball around beautifully, and I remembered when Bruno was doing that on a regular basis when he was able to play his football. Something stopping him from doing that is at the captaincy, as Jamie alluded to earlier on. It happens in cricket. There's been a number of people that have had to step down to improve their own game. He needs to focus in on his own game a little bit more. What really got me the second time it's happened in 2 games is the fact that he pushed all the players up into the box and passed it sideways, and it ended up back to Pope. So for me, 3.
Whoa. Yeah, me.
Yep.
It's a killer.
Not happy.
Yeah, it was one of his worst games, but probably is though his worst game for us.
Yep.
I don't think I'm quite in that camp. I'm giving him a 6, the same as Sean, because he's still, yes, he's buying fouls, but we are getting free kicks, and he takes us up the pitch, and he's the only one there that does actually take us up the pitch, especially when we haven't got Sherry or Botman in. We're relying on him, and especially when we haven't got Miggy flying up the wing as an out. We're relying.
When did he do that? Sorry, when did he do that today?
He did it on numerous occasions. He's the only one that does.
Are you talking about just dribbling the ball forward?
The problem is that he also counteracts that by doing those bloody infuriating 180s and losing possession in very dangerous positions. But I've still got to say, hand on heart, could be innate biased, I suppose. But I still think he was of more benefit to us today than what Longstaff was. I know Jamie's saying Longstaff was the better, but I'm giving them both 6. But I think 3 is really harsh.
For his standard, it's a 3. That's what we're taking that into consideration.
If you're gonna bring, what we're doing is marking it on today's game, not on what we expect of him, kind of thing. So, anyway, that is what it is. J7.
Now, can I say something about J7? He was nominated on the TV channel that I was watching the game as man of the match.
Yeah. Why?
Just thought. I don't know, but he was.
Strange one.
They were saying he was in and around the areas, putting in the tackles, the pass the ultimate pass that
Well,
was
that's true.
where
The
he took
winning
the
pass,
player
yeah.
on, and then split the defence in half with that beautiful ball, perfectly weighted. Couldn't have placed it better for Murphy. Looking back at the performance, I think he was the better out of the two between Bruno and himself. I think he did put in a lot of challenges and he did contribute in the game, and he was up and down quite a bit. So for me, I'll give Joe Linton a 6.
6. Jamie?
I was really worried. Me and my mates were saying at one point, Joe Linton's not going to finish this game, and we were saying when Tonali comes on, he needs to be hooked for him because I think, as Amrit said there, the channel he was watching, Joe Linton was nominated for Man of the Match. It must have been UFC TV because he's really taken this roughhousing to an extreme. You know, I'm really worried he's going to cost us a game pretty soon by getting a red card. But by the same time, that's what I love about him. I love, that he just tries and tries and tries. Like, if it's not happening for him, to try and make it happen, try and stop the opposition playing. I would have given him a 5 for the being over the top, but I'm going to give him a 6 because that ball to play Murphy in for the goal was world class. From deep within our own half, he pings it right in front of his run, and that contributed to win us the game. So it's a lucky 6 for J7.
He had to take the defender on as well, didn't he, Jamie?
Yeah.
He took the defender on, looked up, saw the pass, pinged it. Beautiful.
It's a bit
Right.
Garth Crooks, isn't it? Nominating him for Man of the Match. You know how Garth Crooks used to have the team of the week, and he just picked somebody who'd scored, who turned up on the highlights. I think that's it. Like, but
I was hoping it was going to be Dan Burn, but
Roy, what do you think?
I'll give him an 8. I'll give him a 6. I'm kidding. I'll give him a 6, only because of that great pass. But he's got 3 yellows in 3 games now, so 2 more, and he's out for 1 game.
Yeah.
And today's one was stupid. The one he did against which one was he? Was that Bournemouth, or was it the first game when he grabbed the keeper?
Yeah.
So it's like 2 useless yellow cards now. So he's gonna, and same as Longstaff. I was worried he's not gonna finish the game as well. I thought, I wish Willock was fit because I think both of them would have been subbed out. So he stayed on, and thank God he didn't do one of those stupid tackles and stuff towards the end. I'll give him a 6 only because of that ball.
Well, I'm giving him a 7 because I think he was the pick of the bunch in midfield. Yeah, bit reckless, but I like a bit shithousery. And, he's a tank, isn't he?
He's a beast.
It's just great. He's great to watch, just, battering in there. And he's going to have to look. He's going to have to watch it because he's going to get a reputation. Well, I mean, he did. The season before last, he was getting carded every single game.
But did you see? He did a foul, and I think the referee spoke to him. The one he got yellow for, it wasn't as bad, and then he went straight after, and he went, no, Jordan, how way, man? He's stupid.
It was right in front of the referee as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right there.
But like Wynn says, having somebody like that in the midfield is such a bonus. Just somebody who's, like a Roy Keane or a Patrick Vieira, where they're just not scared of getting stuck in. Give the other team a bit of a shake. I agree with what you're saying, though. Red cards around the corner.
And exactly, like I say, one for the assist. So Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, time's getting on. We'll do all 3: Barnes, Isaac, and Gordon.
Okay. Who goes first?
Who do you want to go first?
Go on, you go first, right?
Okay. I'll give Barnes 6. He scored, but kind of disappeared a bit towards the second half, and then I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem 100%. But there was a nice ball that he had, and he could have just placed it and he kicked it high up. That was when it was still 0-0. Could have done a bit better, but it's okay. Has he got a left foot? Because I've seen him kick a ball with his left as well. So he's both footed. I don't know. I think sometimes he can try him on the right and Gordon on the left. So I'll give him one of the 6. Isaac 5. It's not himself. I know he scored, but he should have done better. I don't know what's wrong with. There's something wrong with him.
And Gordon,
5 as well. Something. Yes. It didn't seem normal, and he lost the ball as well. That was probably worse than all of the ones Bruno did today.
Yeah.
So 6, 6, and 5.
And Amrit.
So I'll start with Gordon. I'm going to give him a 5, and the reason is because he lost the ball quite a bit. He didn't, with the ball, he was a little bit cocky at times. And the other thing is, what really annoyed me is he got fouled. He fell onto the floor, and then somebody from Tottenham got the ball and ran past him while he was still on the floor. Reminded me of ASM. So yeah, I'm giving him a 5 for that. I think Barnes had a good game. I think for me it was a 7. The goal was amazing. It was a hard technique. He finished it really well. I think he's got a bit of pace about him, and he's maybe not 100% where he wants to be, but I would definitely give him a 7 for his performance today. And for Isaac, I'm going to give him a 6, but I don't think it's his fault. Half the time he's running into spaces, but some people aren't just picking him up. The guys aren't giving him what he wants, and I think they've got to work with that on the training pitch. So 6 for me.
Goat.
That's right, exactly.
And Jamie.
I'm taking inspiration here from my favourite Iron Maiden album. I'm going 6, 6, 6 for the front three. So I think Isaac actually worked his arse off. He frightened the life out of the goal. He was constantly chasing him down, and I thought he's going to prompt him into a mistake, but he wasn't in the game. Like Amrit said, not really his own fault. He's not getting the service. But, it's got to be a solid 6 if you score a winning goal, hasn't it? Similar with Barnes, I don't remember him doing much barring scoring the goal and having the one effort that just drifted sort of wide of the post bar early on. So I'll give him a solid 6. And Gordon, I would have agreed with a 5 that the lads are giving him, but I thought he really sharpened up towards the end of the game when he moved to the left. Looked a little bit like his old self. Had the run where he played Murphy in. You know when Murphy had the shot at the near post?
Yeah, that was good. That.
And I just saw a little sort of flash, if you'll pardon the pun, that Gordon might be getting, back in his stride a little bit. So 6s all around. We didn't do enough attacking wise outside of the goals for them to get much more.
Well, I would have been a 6-5-5. I would have given. I'm giving Barnes a 7 instead of a 6 for the goal. Brilliant goal. Isaac would normally have got 7 for having the goal as well, but those 3 balls that when he went back into midfield and the ball was passed to him and he passed it back 1-1-2 for to run onto, and the ball he passed back just went straight to a Spurs player. Was unforgivable, really. The put from being on the front foot and getting away, where all of a sudden we're on the back foot and defending again, and it was just another example of not being able to keep the ball around the halfway line. So he loses one for that. And Gordon would have been a 6 as well. Not so good at the start, improved towards the end, But that, again, the suicide ball that he lost, I'm docking him on for that. So 765 for me. So there we have it, gentlemen. Eddie Howe. I'm gonna give him a 7. We got 3 points, right?
Yeah.
He started with the big 3 up front, which is what I wanted. He went with Tino, proved to be the right decision. You know, vying for man of the match performance. But he went with started with Longstaff instead of Denali, which I would have started with Denali. But the bottom line is the result. That's a manager's judged on results, and we got the result. So anything less than a 7, I think, would be unfair.
I'm going to go 8 because I'm just thinking about this. He puts Kelly in. Kelly gets an assist. Everyone's shouting for Tenali. He brings Murphy on, and Murphy makes a match-winning contribution. And then he does bring Tenali on at the time's right to see the game out. And I think the strong defensive line that he picked was key to winning the game. Like I say, their best players are Son and Maddison, and they weren't in the game. Efforts from distance. Maddison had the one shot that Nick Pope saved. So I think strategically they were set up well. The execution was the problem, which we've said time and again, keeping hold of the ball in the middle of the park. So, but I think Eddie, he was the first manager to just figure Tottenham out when we beat them 4-0. After, if you remember, after we battered them last year, they went on a bit of a losing run because people had figured out to just run in behind them. And I think he did. Postecoglou again today.
Just a little funny aside. When the clock got to 59:30, Pope went down injured and had a bit of treatment.
Yeah.
And my son turned around to us and he says, "Oh, look, they're playing for time till 60 minutes. It's on the clock, so he can make his substitution." And sure enough, as soon as Pope was injured, the 60 minutes had elapsed. And on goes the sub.
All the subs.
Late clockwork.
Everyone knows what's happening, don't they? But the ref's got no choice if the keeper says he's injured. Got to stop the game.
Roy?
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Almost perfect lineup, especially with Kelly and front 3, which we all wanted. So nothing wrong with that one. Game management as well. I think we just over defended in the second half, but yeah, it worked, and his subs were spot on. So yeah, I'll give him good. And we improved compared to the last 3 games.
Yep.
So yeah, solid 7.
I'm
going to give him a 9. I think for the 2 things that he did to change the game up, like you say, starting with Lloyd Kelly and changing up the game with Murphy, I think it was genius. I think he saw something in the game, and he obviously did it for a reason, and it worked. And I mean, what more can we ask for from a manager? So 9 for me.
Oh, right. There you go. So there we have it, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you all in the chat for being there.
9 for Murphy for me as well.
So, oh yeah, I forgot the subs.
Well, it's only Murphy. Well, who else?
Indeed, I did forget the subs.
Tonali.
Yeah, Murphy, Tonali.
Oh, Tonali.
Paul, come on.
Yeah.
Let's give them all 6.5.
Well,
yeah, I'll just give Murphy, because if that was if that was Barnes, we wouldn't have scored. So I'll give that to Murphy.
It was phenomenal pace.
And he could have scored as well from that Gordon pass. And how long was he on for? 15, 20 minutes. So he was involved almost in 2 goals.
It was amazing pace. Amazing pace.
Yeah, Tonali's solid. He just looks class, man. He looks like he's playing with tuxedo on.
Good.
He puts in the hard work as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Miggy had 30 seconds, but there you go.
Yeah.
I was like,
Right, lads,
God, they're going to get Newcastle.
Thank you very much for joining us for this match review. Sorry about my voice. As I say, I've been shouting all day long, so it'll hopefully be better for 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. When we'll be back with the breakfast show with Gary, who was up here for the match today. He's currently driving back home to Birmingham. So we'll see you all then. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.